what would you put your next £1,000 into? What would you invest in?
On a quick horizon?
Now that's Woody. He's one of the founders of the Investor Centre, which is the company that we all work for. And I'm going to say this before anyone gets their hopes up over the title. We're not going to sit here saying we're rich. We're not. There was no trust fund and there was no lucky break. There were 3 blokes with full-time jobs, with young families. The company, in his words, that was hemorrhaging cash. So the main thing that I wanted out of Woody was the thing that's never going to make the highlight reel, which is the 6 months that they'd give themselves before they walk away. And more importantly, what happened in month 5.5. Why none of them quit, even though there were times that they all wanted to. And the thing that Woody says that you should be risking that isn't your money, which is the most useful sentence someone has said to me this year. Now that you're here and you know that Woody is a normal guy who started an investment education business, you know that everything he's got to say is valuable. So let's get into it. At what point when you started the Investor Centre, did it feel real? Was there a moment you're like, okay, we're gonna have a go at this and commit?
Yeah, no, I know to the day. I don't know there were two instances. So we started the company with the kind of aim that we wanted something for our own. We wanted to get out of the matrix, right? That was our primary. We didn't like working for the man anymore. We just wanted something for ourselves. But we were extremely naive. But no, there were 2 points. I think probably a year or so in, because we were hemorrhaging cash at this point as well. So, but we did make a deal that we committed to a further 6 months of investment, which to us was quite considerable at the time. We had very, very young children, semi-understanding partners. No, I joke. Ellie was really understanding. But it was extremely and full-time jobs. Sometimes more than full-time jobs. And we're doing it with our weekend times. But yeah, there was we committed to that. The 6 months, and then at about 5.5, we got a lot of traction overnight, like as if it was kind of written in the stars. And we went over to London to meet one of our now key partners in Canary Wharf. Made a deal there, and then that would continue and thrive really. So that was the first time that the old switcheroo with any startup. I think it's like at the moment you could stop pouring money in and it starts to kind of break even or even start to go the other way. It's so exciting, mate. We're in London post meeting, Canary Wharf, having a beer outside in the sun. We're like, look at what we've done here.
I had a very similar moment when I pitched a contract and it went really well. It was the one that was gonna. I use this term all the time. This is way back when I had a marketing business and we'd scaled down from 6 employees to 2, just me and my business partner. And then we had a third and we went and pitched this big contract and really over-egged it, borderline lied through our teeth to say, this is what it can look like. And we use subcontractors.
Embellished is a nice term.
Yeah, well, we just used an organogram which had staff that weren't on the payroll. They were just freelancers, but it was still our organization, right? Anyway, we sat out in the sunshine in the pub in Euston having a beer because we were confident. We're like, this is it. It became real because it's a big deal for us. It's called what I like to call feeding the beast. You get the one killing, the one hippo, which feeds the entire pride, keeps the lights on, that one contract that keeps the lights on, pays everyone's wages, and because it gives you breathing space to build from there. And that's how it felt. And we hadn't won the contract then. But that was the moment. It felt like, I think we have won it, and we hadn't, but it went so well. That was a real key moment. And you go from, like you say, hemorrhaging cash to suddenly this is a business. And you feel like everything you've done up until that point, it's been a bit like child's play, like getting business cards printed, making a logo, all that sort of stuff. Because really it's not a business until there's money coming in, right?
No, I know. Yeah, I could completely agree, mate. Yeah. And yeah.
What is it that kind of kept you going? Because a lot of people get to it like early on, they put a bit of money in and within a few months they kind of give up. What is it that kind of made you think, no, I think we've got something here? What is it? Was it your chemistry with your business partners?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. We all 3 of us wanted to give up at various times, but at no point did all 3 of us want to give up. There was always one of us that was left still. We did the competition is not as we've got nothing to be intimidated by these people. They're just
who want you to give up more?
Probably me. I'm the most of the 3. I mean, the listeners won't know, but yeah, of 3, I'm the most risk averse. I'm the least bullish. Tom is here. He is the most
Yeah,
bullish, most
yeah,
risk. Dom's in the middle, and then there's
yeah.
me. So we
That's a
we
good
balance each
combination.
other out.
It's a good mix. It's a good
But yeah,
mix.
they drag me up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
Uh,
about that. I
and
think
then
that's
I give him
motivation.
I give him a dose of realism every now and then.
Could you have done it on your own, do you think?
No, I think about that quite a lot, because it was actually Tom's idea, and he could have just taken it and ran with it. But based on some of the decisions that we've made over the last 3 years, there is not one of us that's been right every single time. I'd say there's been such about like we disagree on stuff a lot, but what I have, and we have very different skill sets, very, very different opinions, which is actually to our strength, that I trust the three of us more than I trust one of us, even myself, to get to the right
Yeah,
answer.
yeah,
I really do, because we come at it from completely different directions. So no, I'd say no. I'd very humbly. I wish I did have the skill sets, but probably not. And I also like to think that we're also quite self-aware of what our skills are, but also our limitations as well.
yeah. I learned in my mid-20s that I was starting lots of different businesses, different ideas, home-based, email, website, and I realized I couldn't do it on my own, and not because of skill sets, but it was motivation. I like to be held accountable. I like to be responsible. I like to have a boss without having a boss, but I always like to be held by account to someone. So having a partnership worked for me. And the funny thing is, where people don't really get this, and I don't think anyone will ever understand this, but I never got on with my business partner. We weren't friends. It was very strange. We never went out socially. To a couple of occasions, but they were like getting awards and things. But we weren't mates. We did nothing together outside of work. We just spent 6 years working out, and it worked so well, too well, I think. And then we made we were quite successful, and that's where the problem started. Maybe if we were friends, things might have been different. But it's difficult to say, because if we were mates, we might have not worked as well. But we did hold each other to account quite well, and we felt responsible for each other. So that worked quite well for me, that we weren't mates. And
Yeah.
I think in some cases it could have complicated things.
Yeah. It almost has no right to work. Time will tell where we'll be in 20 years. But
Yeah,
we, as a throuple,
yeah,
we are extremely candid with each other. I'd say if there are two traits that define our culture, it's competitiveness and candour.
okay. So putting our investing lenses on you starting your business, investing in the business. I know you actually put cash in the business. We won't go into that just now, but so let's think about the business as a stop loss, right? How do you think about not losing what you've built? How does that even come into does it enter your mind? And if it does, what do you do to not do that?
Yeah, of course it does. I'm the risk guy, aren't I, of the three. Um, no, we have to look onwards, upwards. We are. It's like anything. Like I did the diversification. That's all anybody talks about in investing, isn't it? Diversification. But it is true, and that's the way we run the business. And that's the way I do my own finances as well. And it's just.
Yeah,
And that's what you want. You would just want multiple, revenue streams. We have the socials, we have the partner stuff, we have the cost per click. We have the digital marketing arm, and that's why I do. We definitely don't want to be standstill and be complacent. We are in a digital market, and digital, and certainly in the AI age, moves quick,
yeah,
extremely quick. So we have
yeah.
to be very, very agile. But yeah, with respect to investing, yes, I do fear losing a bit of this and a bit of that, but I
Yeah.
fear standing still probably a bit more.
Someone watching this video is going to have £1,000 in their pocket, right? They've looked at investing in S&P 500, they looked at these, and they realized that the time horizon, albeit long, is still good, but they don't have that time, or they don't want to wait. Apart from investing in solid, established indexes, tracker funds, things like that, apart from that, what would you put your next £1,000 into? What would you invest in?
On a quick horizon,
Yeah, quick turnaround, 12 to 24 months.
I think everything that I've looked at with a quick horizon has failed.
And that's good. That's good. Good
I
answer.
think if anybody's thinking Forex or something like that, tell you now, the numbers are against you. They're 80% against you.
Yeah,
You
yeah. It
will
says that.
you
And
will
it
lose
says that on
you
the
will
website.
lose money. No, I genuinely. So, but my opinion with it now, as someone that's kind of been around this for a few years now and has failed a lot, but by myself, is that I want it to be, yeah, the indexy fund stuff. I know you said don't. I know you said not that, but I don't really
Yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah. Doesn't have to.
Because
Yeah,
there's that. But I want it to be hands off. So I want it to
yeah,
be
yeah,
in
yeah.
something that's going to give me somewhere between 8 and 12% a year. So it's all automated. There's a little bit goes in every month. It's all automated. At the end of the year, it's way in the plus. Now, by
What about a skill set? What about a
well,
business? What
well,
about
so with that time that I've saved by fully automating it, now we can apply that resource elsewhere. That's the
yeah?
point. Like it might be,
I
maybe
should just
build
let
it.
you finish speaking then, because that was a great
No,
point.
no. Well, that's that I genuinely do believe that, because it's like, and that's the trading thing. Because like you could
Yeah,
become a professional trader, you could beat the S&P. It'd be like, right, and so it's cost you an extra 40 to 50 hours a week. You got an extra 3% out of it.
yeah,
And you in a full year of your time, what could YouTube exists. You can get good at anything in a month,
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So that's my opinion. With that time, you could focus on, of other avenues. Might be business, might be, skills to go into a business, or, whatever it may be. But yeah, you have no right to not get good at stuff if you have the time. And you look at it
That's a
through that
really
lens.
interesting take on it. Don't take the risk with your capital, take the risk with your time, because you can, when you're young enough, you can still keep using that. You're not losing anything substantial. A bit of time, but when you're making mistakes, you're kind of learning from them too, right? What did I hear the other day? If you're not winning, you're learning. Someone told me that after they smashed me at paddle. I lost a big one, but I didn't feel like I learned anything except that I need to be better at paddle. But I kind of get it. If you're not winning, you're learning.